I'm a small town kid born with a big city spirit. I choose to play a lot of awesome roles in life: mom, wife, entrepreneur, CEO, board member, investor, and mentor. 17 years ago, I founded a marketing consultancy, and ever since, my husband JR and I have been building our careers and our family on the exact same timeline. Yep, that means 4 kids, 3 businesses, 2 careers, all building towards one life we love. When I discovered that I could purposefully embrace all of these ands in my life, it unlocked my world. And I want that for you too. I'm Tiffany Souter, and this is Scared Confident. I'm going to call this episode just like stuff on my mind. There were like 2 interesting things that happened over the last couple of days that I think are just really great mindset reminders. So, my second daughter loves volleyball. She's getting pretty good at it. She's 12 and she's at that stage where she's like dreaming of being the best volleyball player on the whole planet. So, that's awesome. I love this young, excited dream that she has. And she's putting a lot of energy into it and discipline and all of that. Our 8-year-old also recently started hitting a volleyball, like in our garage. And she went to one open gym with like second and third graders. So, a very light lift towards this whole idea of volleyball. But we're like, hey, we're already in the gym for our second one. If there's a clinic or something going on, it's a great way to start getting our 8-year-old involved in something without having to drive somewhere else. So that's kind of how our third one is like brushing up against volleyball. And my oldest asked me, we were driving, and she said, Mom, do you think Ainsley likes Ivy playing volleyball? And I said, I don't know. I mean, I guess so. I haven't really thought about it. I said she like hits with Ivy sometimes in the garage. So I'm assuming she likes it. Like it's probably fun to have her little sister. And Aubrey said, I don't think she likes it. I think that she wants to be the best at it. And she doesn't want Ivy to like potentially be better than her. I mean, there's like 4 years between them. It's very unlikely. But anyway, she doesn't want like kind of the family competition. And I said, Aubrey, that's so interesting. But Ainsley is creating contrived scarcity, like something that is not actually scarce, she's making scarce. And Aubrey's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, there's like actual scarcity. So, for example, if I make a pan of lasagna, there's only so much lasagna in that 9 by 13 pan. Like it's a scarce resource. At some point, the pan is gone. Sure, you can make some more, etc. But like there's only so many slices of lasagna and only so many people can have a piece of lasagna because then it's actually gone. But if you look at something like volleyball, the entire human race could play volleyball and there would still be more volleyball available. Like, it's an abundant resource to learn how to play volleyball. There's not a finite capacity of volleyball knowledge on the planet. There's not a finite capacity of volleyball talent. Like, it is a resource that can keep growing in abundance. Yes, there's only so many slots on the Zionsville High School team, but they're not even going to be in high school together. We're a long ways away from that. But my point is like it's an abundant resource. I think a lot of times we look at like other people's success as an accidental scarce resource of like if they are successful, I'm jealous of that and that makes me think I can't also be successful. Like no, you can both be successful. I think women, we can look at somebody else who's really fit and like healthy and say, I'm jealous of that instead of saying, hey, what they have is an abundant resource. Being fit, being healthy, it's abundant. We can all have that thing. I don't need to be jealous of you. You're not taking it from me. It's not either you or me. It can be both of us. It's actually an abundant resource, but our minds can make it accidentally scarce. And when we get into these mindsets where we force scarcity into a scenario where it's really not true, we put all kinds of like icky things into it. We make it competitive. We might try to undermine somebody else's success. Like it's not a good, healthy mindset. So it was a reminder for me to look at when is there actual scarcity? And when do I actually need to compete or try to get there first or figure out what portion of that is important for my journey? And where is it actually an abundant resource, but I might be treating it accidentally as scarce? I think we can even look like talent in our businesses as a scarce resource, which at some level could be true. There's a finite level of potential people who could come be the president of my agency or like It's not an abundant resource, but if you put yourself in the talent development business where you find raw material, like young people who have, great ambition and great discipline and a lot of self-management, and they're just naturally curious and they're a great self-starter. If you put yourself in the business of finding people like that and turning them into who you want, the skill set that you need, the digital marketer I need them to be, the strategist I need them to become, then I change it from a scarce resource. I have to pick from the people who are already developed, and I can turn it more into an abundant resource of, hey, look, I can take raw materials and turn these people into amazing marketers. So I don't know. I just find this like mindset of abundance versus scarcity to be a really valuable thinking framework. And it was just really brought into the foreground for me after this conversation with my daughter. The second thing that's been interesting to me in the last couple of days of I've been navigating my life is I was working out with my trainer this morning, and he said, if you look around and you see that there's a program or a strategy or a thing that is working for people and it isn't working for you, oftentimes you're the problem. But people don't want to hear that they're the problem. And so they blame the thing, they blame the strategy, they blame whatever it looks like. And I am not naturally one to first admit that I'm the problem. I suspect I'm not alone in that. And again, it was just a great reminder that sometimes if things aren't working, but it's working well for other people, it could be that you're the problem. And I remember like when I started sales training and being like, I don't know how to sell. If I knew what to do, I'd already be doing it. I like go to these classes and begin training. And at the beginning, it's just like clumsy and I'm awkward at it and I'm not having success because I'm just not that good at it. I could have looked at it and said, well, this isn't working. But I knew to say like, well, the people who are having success are doing this thing. And so if I want to have success, I need to keep at it. But there's been some things I've tried to like grow this podcast that have like not really worked that well. And I can blame the channel or I can look at it and say like, have I been as consistent as I probably could have been? Have I tested as many things as I could have? Have I like committed to the channel in a way that said, I'm going to figure out how to make this successful instead of, I don't know if it will be successful. And just that mindset, I think, can really change your energy towards testing and trying, or like with, nutrition and dieting and trying to find the right way of eating that works well for your body. Again, I think sometimes our lack of compliance, our quitting on it too early, our like not reading the fine print, that we actually can be the problem. So anyways, I don't know if that's very cheerful, but I'm very passionate about figuring out where the locus of control is. And the more often I can put the locus of control with me, I know that that puts me in a place of empowerment to be able to create change and move my energy and resources towards the things that I want out of life. And so this framework of if something isn't working, but it's working for other people, the problem is probably you. To me, that's clarifying of like, hey, the locus of control is back with me. Like, how do I get my crap together so that I can make this work? So anyway, random thoughts from Tiffany as she motors through the holidays. That's what we'll call this episode. Thanks for listening. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Scared Confident. Until next time, keep telling fear. You will not decide what happens in my life. I will. If you want to get the inside scoop, sign up for my newsletter. We decided to make content for you instead of social media algorithms. The link is waiting for you in show notes, or you can head over to tiffanysauter.com. Thanks for listening.